Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So, we all came in here for a reason, taking out a few of the girls that are not inside. But I feel like as women, this is something really important for us to kind of talk about because if we don't feel good, right? If we don't feel good here, we're not going to show up the way we want to, you know? Yeah, anybody can go ahead and pick up some weights. Anybody can go ahead and do that. But if your mind is convincing you otherwise, you're never going to get to the level that you want to get to, you know? Coming from somebody that has gone through everything that you guys have are going through currently, and I was someone that I can tell you didn't love herself for a very long time. So that's why when we came up with this, I wanted to make sure that you guys all know that regardless that we're coaches here, we have all gone through something similar. All of us,
Or still going through.
Mhm.
and still going through. As
Def-
women,
Definitely.
every different stage of our lives. So when we came up with this program, we really wanted to help you guys. We're always helping you guys physically and with diets and all of that, but we really wanted to help you guys mentally in a way that only us women know how to do so. Okay? So we're gonna start it off with Coach Jay, then I'm gonna, come in, and then so will Coach Mirta, and hopefully we'll have enough time to kind of open the floor if you guys would like to share anything, okay?
Okay, hold on one second. All right, I think the time zone difference was a factor for Giselle. Um, okay, well, so we're starting now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to give a quick definition of self-awareness and what it means. Okay, basically, that means seeing yourself honestly, your habits, your mindset, and your patterns. Okay, why does it matter? Does anyone have an idea why it matters? It's okay. I'll answer it. If you don't understand where you are, you can't get where you want to go. Okay? Most people fail because they react instead of reflecting on who they are and what needs to change. Does that make sense? Right? So, the question is, are you really seeing yourself clearly or just seeing what's comfortable? Okay.
A lot of times we ignore stuff because of that. It's uncomfortable to accept it.
Right. Right. So, the importance of defining who you want to become. Okay. The importance of that. Without a clear vision of who you're becoming, you'll always slip back into what's familiar. Anyone experience that, right? You got to have a clear idea. Okay, this is where I'm aiming. This is the direction I want to go. Because if not, then you're just going, you know, here, there, and it becomes very confusing. People get a lot of distress, a lot of pressure, right? So we need to have a clear, direct understanding of what we want, right? And what we see fit for ourselves. Okay. Now, how do we, let's see. Okay. How do we frame it? Okay. Basically, you define it clearly. Is it stronger, more disciplined, confident, lighter, more energized? You need a real identity you're stepping into, not just a goal. So you got to be very specific for that. Not just setting the goal, but being specific in what you want. And you got to think about it. Don't make it complicated. Don't overanalyze. You just need to be clear with yourself and make it make sense. So that way you have that path set for yourself. Okay. Or you get analysis paralysis. Anyone know what that is? Where you overanalyze your thoughts, right?
That's me.
And then you get stuck. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh shit, can I get past that? Right. And even writing these things down. Because sometimes even it sounds easy, but when we come down to it and we're just like, okay, what do I want? How do I want to define myself? How do I see myself moving forward away from the old me? Because as long as I'm holding on to the old me, that's how I'm going to slip back, right? Because it's comfortable, it's familiar, it's easy. You know what I mean? It's like, I know that person. And of course, you're not going to know the person you're becoming quite yet or feel comfortable because it's new to you, right? So let's clear those ideas of yourself and be more defined as you do that, okay? Now, what I want you to do after the call today is take 30 seconds, right? Write down, who is the next version of me? What does she look like, think, act like, right? I want you to think about that. Who is the next version of me? What does she look like, think like, act like? Okay. All right. Now, stop identifying with the old version of yourself. Stop it. Okay. You can't step into the new you if you keep thinking like the old you. It's very simple, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. So I'll give you an example or an illustration. Okay. If the old you skipped workouts when you were tired, guess what? She doesn't live here anymore, right? If the old you gave up when it got hard, right? Guess what? You're replacing her with someone who pushes through. It's very simple, right? Just showing up. Okay. Not talking yourself out of it, not overthinking. It's very direct. Okay, I don't want to do no, but the new me's we're gonna do that. We're gonna make that move. I'm gonna do that extra rep, right? That's the new you. Okay. Now, you can't become her if you're still thinking like the old you. Okay. Can't take the old you, all gone, right? The new you. When you look in the mirror, you have to envision yourself as how you see the future you. And you have to do it to the point that that's what you start to really see. And that takes practice, right? And really telling yourself the new me is going to, not make excuses. I'm going to get up at 7 a.m. I'm going to, start making my bed instead of just getting up and jumping and putting my work clothes on and getting my day ready and not making my bed. Some people don't make their bed. They just get up and go. They're like, fuck it. I got to go. I got shit to do. But little things like that make a big difference when you're trying to serve yourself into the new you, right? Just little things, right? So, all right. Every action you take now, workouts, food choices, mindset, ask yourself, is this helping me become her? If the answer is no, change
Don't
it.
do it.
Just change it. If it's not her, change it. It's kind of when if you know your significant other isn't gonna like something, right? You just know it. You already know I ain't doing that. I already know because they're gonna flip out. They're gonna, it's just one of you pick and choose. But this is real simple. You choose you each time. That doesn't align with who I'm becoming. That's not who I'm becoming. That's not who I'm becoming. It goes against who I'm becoming, who I am, right? So 2 minutes, self-awareness, see the truth, who you are currently, right? Define your new identity. Clarity is power, right? Kill the old identity. Daily choices need to match the new you. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't rush through that. I just know we're on
Oh,
a
girl, you did an
perfect.
amazing
No.
job.
That was
I know we're-
perfect.
Yes, and guys, we're human. We get a little like nervous and stuff like that, but we want to make sure that we're giving our best. And you guys are understanding. You did a great job, Jay.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That was
Now,
perfect.
yes, I'm gonna chime in, and we're gonna talk about standards and non-negotiables. All right, we're gonna talk about that. and not me making a PowerPoint. So give me a second. I'm gonna like
Ah.
share the screen. Okay. Let me hold on.
Yes. Standards and what?
Non-negotiables.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay. Hold on. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. My daughter taught me something. Hold on. How do I get this out here?
Oh,
Okay. Look at me, guys. Look at me. You see?
Hey.
Yay. All right. Have some patience with me. It's the first time I do this. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get through it. All right. We're going to talk about standards and non-negotiables. Okay. The truth. You can't live a high level life with low level habits. You just can't. All right. Most people stay stuck because they keep negotiating with the version of themselves they're trying to outgrow. How many of you guys can identify with that?
Mhm.
You're just negotiating, right? When you guys continue to do things like that, you guys have to stop doing that. Number one, if you want change, you have to do
What the
something.
hell?
Okay? You just have to. All right? We're
I
gonna
just
talk
want to check off the last eggs.
about
Check off the last eggs. That's standard.
sorry guys, can you guys mute your phones? Just press mute. All right. So we're going to talk about my turning point, right? Some of you know this, some of you don't, but I was 208 pounds, right? Physically uncomfortable, mentally drained. I hated what I looked like and how I thought. Plain and simple, right? Here I have an example where it says seeing other women confident made me feel worse, not better. This wasn't even their fault, it was on me, you know? It was the way I thought about myself. And it was a really, really like uncomfortable thing. And you know, sometimes it's like you see a beautiful woman pass by, you're like, oh my God, is my husband looking at her? Oh,
Yeah.
you know, like it was one of those things that I was feeling. It wasn't a good place to be, you know? And I didn't want to be that. I wasn't that, you know? And honestly, it comes into this where I had a fight inside, right? And that fight, nobody knew because I wasn't sitting there being vocal about how uncomfortable I was, how I felt, how I thought, right? And I didn't want to be her anymore. I was tired of excuses, tired of quitting, feeling tired of feeling less. I wanted to feel proud of the woman in the mirror, right?
Mm.
So what did I have to do to get here? I had to change.
Change.
I had to change, right? That fight that I had inside of me was the old me fighting my new me, right? Me feeling uncomfortable. It was fighting. So one of them is going to win, but which one am I going to let win? Me feeling uncomfortable, feeling bad because that's how I feel and that's how I know, that's all I know, right? Or am I going to let the new version of me that's fighting saying, okay, Donna, I don't want this no more. I don't want to be this. I want to change, right? Which one? It's up to you, right? In
You
this
always have
point,
to choose what's harder.
you got to choose what's harder, what's different, right? Because at this point, I don't feel good. I'm talking about me, right? You guys can identify in another way. At this point, I don't feel good. So for me to change, I got to stop doing the same things that I'm doing. I have to choose something different, right? The shift, me personally, I realized something had to change. Not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can do that. They stay there. You know what I'm saying? I was a very anxious person. I was someone that I didn't like going to the store at a certain time. Like the store opened at 9 o'clock. 8:59, I was going to be there. I don't want to be around people. Sorry. 8:59, I'm going to be there early. You know, that's me. Going anywhere, I would get super anxious if it was packed. It was just isolation. It became that. And that, if any one of you guys have ever felt that way, that is actually the most dangerous feeling ever, to feel alone and want to be alone. And when you go out in the streets, it's just overwhelming. It is the scariest place to be mentally, right? So I realized something I had to change. My standards were low. I had no non-negotiables. I was doing the same things, expecting different results. And this is the truth. I'm being honest. Okay? Raising the bar. I did the uncomfortable work, right? For me, I had to realize what is it? What do I need to do, right? Here I got honest about my habits and I made certain things non-negotiable. That's how I started to become her. The woman that I am today is not even half of the person I was 3 years ago when I started with Coach Eddie in this program. And it's the truth. Some of you, especially Maddie, that she just started, and I know for a fact that she can vouch with the time that she's been here, the shift in mindset that you have. And when the person you walk in, right, and who you are right now is completely different. The things you're capable of doing, it's completely different. You're
Two
like, wow,
different people.
two different people. It's true. It is very true. This is what I want you guys to do, like, you know, your challenge. Ask yourself, and this is very similar to what Coach Jay had mentioned. What standards are keeping you stuck? Okay, I want you guys to think about that. What habits are blocking your next level? Is it your environment? Is it your friends? You know, what is it? Now, this question right here, I want you to envision who you want to become, right? Who is it? Like, you don't have to get specific, but I want you to see her, like, dressed up as her, feeling like her, and you're standing in front of her. What are you still tolerating that she wouldn't? Right? I want you guys to think about that. And like I wrote here, change isn't talk, it's action. Okay? So final message, if you want to become her, you need to raise your standards. Stop negotiating with your old self. So if there's anything that I want you guys to take away from what I said here is, if you guys want to change, you guys need to do something different. Whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, you guys have to do something different. Do you guys have any questions for me?
How do you minimize, or like not minimize, but like how do you choose your non-negotiables to where you're making like those 3 or 4 non-negotiables like the most important part of, or the most impactful on your journey?
Well, you have to first, for me, I feel like you have to pick what's most important for you. Like first you have to identify that, like what's important for you. What is important for Maddie to change,
Then
right?
you take from there.
And from there is where I go. For me at the time, it was my health. You know, I didn't like the feeling of being scared or feeling weak or anything like that. So that's where I wanted to work on the most. And that's when I decided to seek, you know, like fitness help. And then lucky for me, I had found Eddie, and Eddie not only offers the fitness help, he also offered the mindset help. So I got a 2-for-1, you know?
Yeah, which is a
And
big
then
blessing.
a big blessing. And so from there is when I continued to keep learning. There was a lot of things that opened my eyes because, you know, one thing that I like to do is I like to listen. I like to listen, I like to learn, regardless. I don't care who you are. I'm more of a listener than a talker because I like to learn from everyone. I feel like everybody can offer something to somebody, you know?
Yes.
And it almost bothers me when somebody's like breaks into somebody when they're talking, because I'm like, you can learn so much if you're just quiet.
Shut up.
Yeah. And that was something I worked on and I learned. And anybody that I meet, you start talking to me, I'm gonna let you speak because I want to learn from you. You got something that I don't. I know it. I feel it. Good or bad doesn't matter, but I'm gonna learn from you, I promise. So that's how I pick like what my non-negotiables are and stuff like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Are we ready for Coach Mirta? I think we're ready for you, girl.
Your turn.
You're muted.
I said that you guys are hard to follow. That was so many great points, and honestly, a lot of the same things that I was gonna share. So I guess just reiterate and say it in a different way. I was not as fancy as you. I wrote my own. So I'm gonna keep it quick. How many minutes do we have left? I don't want to take too much time because I want them to have time to ask
I
questions.
didn't get the notice yet. So I think we're still good with time.
Okay. So I'm gonna be honest, this topic, it was a little bit hard for me because I am right now in that process with you guys to try to figure out who I am. And the reason why I say that is because I want to become her, but her more than just a mom, right? Because like I'm feeling lately that I don't know if maybe it's because I'm home 24/7 with a child. I'm never alone. So it feels like that is my identity. And I know that I'm more than that. But if someone were to ask me, tell me a little bit about yourself, I have nothing to say then. I'm a mom of 4. That is all I have to say right now. So in this version of becoming her that we're doing, I'm going to explore also who am I and who I want to become. So that's why it's a little difficult to guide you guys because I'm going to be in that process with you as well. But I do want to give you some knowledge that could relate to this and, you know, some information that we took from the event that we saw, that we went to with Eddie, and plus some of the things that I feel can alter her, right? So personal growth is a choice. No one is, you know, putting a gun to your head to tell you, hey, you need to take care of yourself, right? Like you made the investment, you came up with the money, and you're taking the time to, you know, either get in the chat or not get in the chat, right? Because that is a choice. Either you can or you can't. The answer is correct because either you're going to do it or either you're not going to do it. So you're right? If it worked or if it doesn't work, it's all up to you. It's a decision that you make, and you have to surround yourself with people, like-minded people, which I know is something also that Eddie talks about often, like eliminate. And I know he says this and I hear him sometimes. I'm like, how do you eliminate your surroundings? Like how can you probably eliminate someone that you've hung out with since kindergarten, but maybe you went in this direction, you know, like a positive, good direction, and maybe they went left, you know, and they're not that great of an influence for you. And when you get into this health and fitness journey, a lot changes, right? Especially when you're in that, in this discovery of who you want to become. You are where you're at right now, but you will see that, and I've been there, so I know what that feels like. I've just lost my way a little bit. But when you're trying to find your health, you find your health and fitness, you get fit, you feel good, all of a sudden you walk a little taller. And you know, someone might say, hey, let's go to the bar. And you're like, I don't want to go to the bar. I feel like those calories are not worth it for me tomorrow to go burn, you know? Like it's a mindset shift, but to them it's like, what is she saying? Like, we're just gonna go, you know, social drink and have a good time, but your mindset is different now. You know, so that is the person that we're trying. I'm not saying don't drink ever, you know, so it's fine. It's you do your thing.
I don't even drink that much.
But what
You ever see me drink?
Hannah say she's having a drink. Hannah, we heard you.
I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Hannah. Drink up, girl. My phone went off. But the point is that with growth, it takes a few things, but it takes intention, right? Like you have to be intentional of the growth that you want to make. And it's kind of the point that they said, become her. Like when you view yourself as the person that you want to be, what do you see? What time do they wake up in the morning? Do they lay out their workout clothes the night before, or do they pick an outfit really quick? Does the person, I don't know, do they go to the gym or they work out from home? Like there's just so many little variables that you can, it's like an avatar, right? Like that's what they shared in the event. You kind of look for like that avatar of the person that you want to become, and you mimic being that person before you are that person. So it's kind of, I kind of see it like fake it till you make it type thing. Like just pretend that you're already there and you act upon it. Even though in your mind it might be like, okay, this is silly. Like, why am I doing this? I'm not even, but that's the mindset. Like, act that way, and something repeated over time, it just becomes a habit, right? It takes intention, it takes commitment. This is a commitment right now, what you guys are doing here. Coming here at 8 o'clock, and I have friends over, so there's 5 kids running around. I have a baby. It's a commitment, right, that we're making to ourselves, and take action. And talking about this, I also want to talk about something that I learned in the event. It's called, I don't know if it's tear. I don't think it's tear, because tear sounds sad. Bless you. I think it's tear. Your thoughts control your emotions. Your emotions control your actions, and your actions control your results. And the way that the speaker said this, you can also go backwards. If you're not seeing the results, are you taking the action? If you're not taking the action, are your emotions really there? And if the emotion is not there, then are you even thinking? I'm sorry, he's crying. If your emotion is not there, then are you even thinking that you really want to change? And then it just goes back. Again, it's thoughts control your emotions control your actions, and your actions control your results. It was super powerful, and it made complete sense when I heard it. Then we talked about become her, because we kind of talked about that. And growth is uncomfortable. We all know that. I mean, just sometimes, probably for some of you, even being in the chat and writing something is uncomfortable, because, you know, maybe you don't know if you said something properly, or maybe you don't want to, you know, I don't want the coaches to see that I exist, but we know you exist, even if you write in the chat or not. But yes, growth is uncomfortable. You have to think the old you, something would have happened, you got into your head. Like today, this morning, I had plans to wake up early. I didn't. I was exhausted. I slept for 1 more hour. I said I was going to work out in the morning. I didn't, but I'm not going to quit. I haven't done it, and I didn't, you know, do the things that I was going to do. But you know what? Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day for me to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. If I don't do it, okay, I'll try again on Sunday. But the workout's going to get done. I'm tired. I'm going to get out of this call. Once these kids are situated, the workout is going to get done. We don't quit. Old version me probably would have called it a night, but I'm going to work out. So the new you understands setbacks. Setbacks happens to all of us. No one is immune. Like, you know, I'm not special that, oh my God, nothing's ever going to happen in my life. Like, it's all nice and rainbows and clouds and all the unicorns. No, we all have setbacks. It's inevitable. Injuries, plateaus, bad days, we all have them. But when you have growth, it comes not from avoiding failure. It's important to fail. A lot of us are scared to fail. And I know some of us have spoken about being scared of, what is it when they work out to failure, right? I forgot the term. But when you work out to failure and they're scared of it, no, you do it, because then you'll know what your limit is. And then from there, you can push yourself to do a little bit more. We're choosing to learn, to adapt, and to push forward. Resilience is built through choice, and the choice is to keep going. So that's become her.
Good job. And you're doing a great job. You know, for those who don't know that just joined, you know, she had her baby, and Mirta has been very committed and very real. And that's one thing that I love about every single one of us, is that we're not faking anything. We come in here, we speak the truth, you know, we have our days, we fall off, we get back together, you know what I'm saying? And we keep moving forward. That's the one mentality that we want to teach everybody, because at the end of the day, if you think that you guys are going to show up 100% of the time, that's not going to happen. Okay. And to become the person you want to become, you need patience, you need consistency, and you need to keep moving forward. The old you, if you were someone that gives up easily, that's something that that should be the first thing you work on. Like, you know what? I would have gave up on this workout. I'm not going to do that today. You know, or I would have screamed at this person. You know, I'm going to walk away from that.
That was me to speak. Sorry.
No, you're good. But it's true. It's a real thing. You know, some of us got some tempers with us. You know, I got a temper. It takes a lot for me to say something.
Listen, some people are just extra dumb at my job, and it's hard.
And that's
So
not
I
gonna
need
change.
to find the patience in me to be like, you know what? Hot girls don't treat other people like this. Hot girls have more patience. You know, hot girls can't fake this shit. So I'm like,
Well said.
Become her.
Become her.
I'm doing it. I kicked the little voice out of my head. I was like, you gotta go, bitch. You can't do it. She's not here. I don't have time.
Laptop.
I did a lot of non-negotiables for the 30-day challenge, and I had to evict her. There's no space.
That's right.
Like, I
Can't live here no more.
hell no. Rent free and
Oh,
shit.
I wanted to interject real quick in something that
The cause might end. I don't know.
okay.
It says less than 1 minute.
All right, something that might